Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing 5 things that I learned since moving to Canada, and this is very important to put in mind, especially as the year begins and you're planning yourself for the new year or planning a big move, and maybe part of your big move is to move to Canada. I hope this will be helpful for you to stay on top of things. Number 1 is starting again might be rough at the beginning, but you need to kind of like stay focused on the end goal and on the big one, because oh my god, everybody knows Canada process like stresses you, and you need to be patient, and it can be really frustrating. For some people it's like easy peasy, they do their process in like in a couple of months and they're done, and for some people it can take years. So I'll just say, however route you're planning your move to Canada or you're planning your relocation, either you're moving from Nigeria or you're moving from Europe, just know that at the beginning it might be rough and it can be frustrating. You might have to wait longer for some things, but you just need to know that it's worth it at the end. And this is me after 2 years. I clocked 2 years in November last year in Canada, so I know, like, I've been through the process. I know that at the beginning it might be rough, but eventually it's worth it. Like, it's almost like an investment that you put energy into and you don't get results immediately. You just have to be patient for it to mature. That's the way like moving to Canada or immigration to Canada is. You need to be patient and stay focused. So the next point I'm going to make is understanding that there might be more opportunities out there for you. I say this because many times I speak to people, especially from Europe, and they talk about like moving to Canada and they're like, oh, I really want to move to Canada, but you know, I'm established here, I have my job, I'm settled and blah, 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 which is great. Like, I mean, if you don't want to, not everybody is going to move, but sometimes I feel like you don't really know your full potential because you're just like in one place, you're just doing the same thing. And sometimes you need to give yourself that opportunity and understand that you might actually have better opportunities somewhere else. Like, the world doesn't just end where you're living right now, and the opportunities doesn't like just stop where you are right now. Sometimes you need to understand that there might be more opportunities out there to explore, and don't let that be like a deciding factor for you, that, oh, I'm already established, I'm already doing fine now, I don't need to go anywhere, like that's it. Sometimes there's more out there, like there's more opportunities you can tap into, and have that in mind when you're planning and when you're considering relocating to Canada. The next point I'm going to make is your network is really your network in Canada. The people you first meet, the community you join when you first move here really matters, and the people you talk to is very important. For example, it would determine like how you integrate into the job industry or job sector quickly. If you meet someone, for example, when they moved to Canada, their first job was like cleaning or like security or something, when you talk to them, that's the type of things they will be telling you, or that's the area they'll be dragging you to, like, oh, you need to do this job because that's the first job I did when I moved here. But sometimes when you network with the right people, and let's say people that are working in tech or project management or BA, they introduce you to like maybe the courses they take or the boot camp they took when they got here, and introduce you to people that are doing something similar. So you need to be very smart with the people you talk to when you move to Canada. You need to network with the right people, because that would really shape you. Some people even get jobs before arriving into the country. Like, trust me, before they even arrive, as long as they have like all the permits and they know the day they're coming, they start like doing interviews already. They would like upgrade their LinkedIn accounts and all of that, and they get jobs before arriving. And some people arrive months, like maybe a couple of weeks after or a few months after, they already have the job that they want. They don't have to, not everybody has to go through the route of, oh, I started with cleaning, I started with security. I mean, no offense to anybody doing that, they're still doing like a legit job, and that's valid, and they need to survive. Like, respect to people doing that, but I'm just saying you don't have to do that. You don't have to go through that route, and you don't have to maybe extend things. Like, network with the right people is important. Even before you move down here, start going online, joining communities and talking to people. The funny thing is, many people in Canada are willing to help. Let me tell you, compared to the UK, this is coming from someone that have lived in the UK for a long time. I know that here people don't really hoard information. People are willing to put you on. They are willing to tell you what they did to get to where they are right now. So take advantage of that. Network with the right people so that by the time you come, you can settle in smoothly. The next point I'm going to make is, sometimes don't let people tell you everything and you just like believe it. Sometimes go and test the waters for yourself. And I'm saying this because, for example, as European, if you're planning to move maybe from the UK, from France, from Germany, or any other European country, you have the opportunity to live in Canada for 6 months before you even like decide to move, for example. So sometimes it's good to go for yourself, see things for yourself and experiencing it before you actually make the decision that, oh, Canada is not for me, or I don't want to move here. Many times in Europe, or whenever like people talk about Canada, the first thing they say is, oh my god, the weather there is horrible, like it's so cold, I can't live in that country. But guess what? It's not every part of Canada, depending on where you live. If you live in Alberta, for example, yes, it's extremely cold, but some parts of Ontario are still like quite warm, like around where I live. So it's like, do your research and sometimes go and test things. Because if you just stay in London, London, UK, and someone is telling you, oh, it's minus 40 degrees here, it's something, firstly, ask where exactly they live, and ask like the province they live in, and know like the period. Understand that some places like winter start really early, and some places it doesn't start until like October, November. So try to understand the dynamics. Don't just believe like what everybody's telling you. Sometimes go for a month, go for 2 weeks till you actually experience Canada, and come back to your base and try to understand, okay, maybe I can make plans and move here. Don't just sit down in your house and believe everything someone is telling you, because at the end of the day, people are going to tell you things from their own personal experience and perspectives, and that can really determine the amount of information they give you. So yeah, if you have the opportunity to try to move here, maybe as a student or visiting, maybe try to do that before you actually make your final decision. Lastly, one big lesson I learned like after moving to Canada is, most times human beings, we underestimate ourselves. We underestimate like what we're capable of doing, like our own potential. If someone would tell me like, oh, this time I'll be in this position and I can do many things that I've done since I moved to Canada, I would maybe doubt them. But at the same time, maybe I won't doubt them because I know that I'm a go-getter, and sometimes I just need that push to really like do things. Most times I'm not scared of like taking a big step or a new step, but we underestimate ourselves. I'm always saying, oh, I'm not like a distinction student or whatever, but in life sometimes it's not just book. Like, you're good in other areas and you can do great in other areas. So moving to a new country or moving to Canada has really like giving me that opportunity to realize the amount of potential that I have and what I can do. And now I do things and I'm like, yes, I know if I put my mind to it, I can do it, because there's so many opportunities as well in Canada that you can tap into. It doesn't mean, oh, because you didn't finish first class or something in school, so you're not smart enough. Trust me, there's so many not smart enough people out there doing great things. So I think just moving here has really like taught me that even in other aspects of my life, that I have so many like so much potential and things that I can do for myself, and maybe all this while I've been underestimating that. So yeah, I hope you find this video helpful. If you have any other requests, please leave it in the comment section down below and I'll make sure to look up on that. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.